Hey, it's Mike. I'm back and I'm ready to go. I got I got some interesting stuff to share, to go over some videos and some other stuff. So I want to get I want to get right to that. Let's see, what do we got going here? We got a lot. We got Eliana here with some prayers. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the Nama Om Shri Makunda Padaya Yabba Dabba Doobadaya. Absolutely. And then I look up. Hey, how you doing? Namaste, boom, 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 to you. Hard kidney beans and rhubarb pie and all of that good stuff. Absolutely. And Gary, good to see you here. Gary, I guess that's your band from Agora Hoodie's place. Um, Gurma in the house. Yeah, absolutely, Gurma. Good to see you. Eliana, uh, Jai Gurma, and Joe Lynn. All glories, all glories to the boom boom. Um, you do it, lady. You do it, lady. Then you'll know. All
I
glories
go
to the
boom boom
boom.
boom boom I can dance. Boom 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 yay. You sing it with me and then you'll know. Boom boom boom
And we
yay.
got
You go lady. Boom 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 boom
ba
yay.
boom boom boom. Yeah. And so many prayers. Eliana just killing time. And then Jenna Morton, good to see you here. Um, and we got Easy Market. Hey, how you doing, buddy? Easy Market. Sorry, I don't mean to misgender you. I don't know what your gender is, but um, Easy Market says I had a crazy dream last night. I was standing outside a Chipotle. Then Mike walked out and gave me a burrito because he thought I was homeless. Wow. That sounds like a pretty good dream. I like that dream. You know, hey, hey, Snoggle, good to see Snoggle, and fake human, good to see you here, and Rafal. All right, good to see you. Let's get right. I'm a Mexican guy. Okay, good, good, good. Yeah, I heard uh, Gora Hoodie was yelling at you. I guess he got on his bad side. He was yelling at you. We'll get to that in a minute. But right now, we got this. I'll be right back after this.
Hello?
Hello.
All right, yeah, hey, fake human, yeah, running after that kiwi, and being chased by the police. Uh, yeah, Hoodie was Hoodie was yelling at me, and then finally blocked me for 24 hours. Yeah, yeah. So this Gore Hoodie guy. So anyway, after I kicked him out for not offering me prayers, uh, respecting me as a guru, like he does, like he wants to be. I guess when you've been exposed and everything's been defeated, and he's got nothing else to say, he goes private now. So you don't get to. He's not preaching in public anymore, which is good. You can't go. I guess you gotta. I don't know how you get to see his thing. I don't know how I'm able to find it, but I guess the algorithm just keeps sending it to me. regardless. I mean, I don't know. But Freddie was saying, I saw that Freddie was saying that they want to be private now. So evidently they're not. He doesn't want people to know what he's saying, except I don't know. But he was yelling at Easy Market, and he was yelling at some other people, and of course me, and saying that he was saying that I hate God and that we hate God, and I just wanted to reiterate: I don't hate God. I hate him. He thinks he's God, but he's not. He's not God, and Gore Hoodie can't even recite the pranam mantras, let alone fumbles them trying to worship. He's nothing but a bunch of hot air. Nothing but a bunch of hot air. I can't get over that. But anyway, he's not. I guess he's embarrassed about what he's saying. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Is he must be embarrassed. He's not proud of what he's saying. He doesn't want anybody. He doesn't want just anybody to see it. He doesn't want anybody to critique what he's saying, which is too late because I already put him through the. I already put him through the filter. He's full of shit. There's nothing else he can say. If you go to his Facebook, he posted it. Yeah, I guess you got to go on this wild goose chase to figure out where he is and how to find him. I know he's got like it's ridiculous. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. I'm having fun replaying the ISKCON members using the Mike Sandoval School of Prabhupada bashing. They never reply back after the facts are shown. You know, it's okay. So that's pretty funny. The Mike Sandoval method. The Mike Sandoval method. That's pretty funny. So yeah, I guess you can go find him and you can lead to him, but the point is he doesn't. He knows what he's saying is ridiculous. It's fake. It's false. It's phony. It's not in the books. And whatever, you know. But the point is that he's not. He's not public anymore. He's taking it private. He's taking it private. And there's just more evidence that he's full of shit. But Big Mouth. I know. He with his Vipramukhya, like. You know, he's under this assumption. He's under this assumption that only he knows Vipramukhya because Prabhupada came to him in a dream. Like nobody else who reads Prabhupada's books can understand this higher nobody can get it except nobody gets it except him because Prabhupada came to him in a dream. So even if we read Prabhupada's books, we don't have the proper. I mean, it's such crap. Okay, it's yabba dabba do. It's a total yabba dabba do. Whoops, what happened? What happened with my yabba dabba do? There you go. It's a total yabba dabba do. It's a farce. Okay, so I was looking around the ISKCON pages to see, you know, what I was missing out on. And I came across this thing about, oh my goodness. I know he had the dream. He you know, if you're not having the dream.
Right, he didn't have that dream. I did.
Just the idea of a dream is just so preposterous. It's so preposterous. I don't. Exactly. What kind of narcissistic? I know. It's beyond belief. Creates his own holy icon of himself with his canonization. It's amazing the level of delusion of this guy and his followers too. We'll get to that in a minute. But what I wanted to share real quick before we get to that is this Vipramukhya Swami, this Wayne boy, this Vipramukhya Swami. Now, I remember this guy because he was very anti-Ritvik at a time when we were forming our Ritvik thing, and he was always writing and preaching against the Ritviks, as far as I remember. Maybe my memory is faulty after all these years, but that's what I remember. Hey, AJ, good to see you. Good to see you here. So I was very familiar with him and his writings, and he was. It seemed like he was always writing some essay or some article, putting down the Ritvik. So that's how I remember him vividly. But what it says here about him, because that's why it caught my eye, because I know he left, and he's gone on with his life, which is great. And I've talked about him before, that I think it's great that he was able to do that. I'm proud of him. It's great. I did say that I thought he should speak out in his own way, whatever. However, I just think that it's not enough to. It's good to leave. It's good to leave. Absolutely, it's good to leave. It's good to leave. It's good to just be not part of that if you were or if you are. But I think it's also if you can, if you're able to, I think it's important to speak out. So it says here, Vipramukhya Swami, Wayne Boyd, and this is what this Dayananda Das Vanachari. So this is what ISKCON is saying. This is what ISKCON devotees are saying about him. It says Vipramukhya left. I was not initiated, just indifferent. Now he has come back with a vengeance, trying to attack the faith of the followers. That is damn irritating. With this opening, I took considerable time writing a response to what I perceive as Wayne Boyd's unacceptable attempts to attack the faith of the faithful. In the back of my mind, it was an open letter to him, attacking his irresponsibility. However, due to my language tone, or perhaps my lack of properly strategizing, it did not communicate that way, and the way I had it intended. Some wonderful devotees spent time commenting on my posts, so they remain here. I think their comments stand well, independent of my article. So then it says, this is Damodar, somebody named Damodar Das. I have also noticed Wayne's reemergence as interesting. I don't know him well enough to have a particular take on his motives. That would be anything other than speculation. But I would observe that those who abandon religion, and perhaps their vows in particular, tend to feel the urge to continually justify their position. So here's the gaslighting. They're saying that him just speaking just telling his story is somehow the urge to continually justify their. No, he's just telling his story. They have to turn everything around. He says perhaps there is an element of misery loves company. No, he's just telling his story. There's one life to live. It's like I have a story, and I'm telling it. And if it's a fucked up story, well, that's not my fault. Don't blame me. Don't blame him. But of course, they have to blame somebody. It's like they blame me. Want to blame me? We're gonna blame this guy because he wants to just share his experience. He just wants to share his experience with what happened and tell his story, which feels good when you tell your story. Even if no one's listening, it still feels good. I don't care. I don't care. It says, perhaps there is an element of misery loves company, that I will feel more affirmed in the validity of my rejecting, what did he say? Rejecting the guru, the movement, the philosophical stance, if I can get others to agree with me. Yet, of course, most atheists are anything other than detached from religious thought. More gaslighting. You know, that's what they would say about me because I want to speak out about this cult and I want to help warn others about the dangers of this cult, then they say, well, he just can't stop thinking about Krishna. He just can't stop thinking about religion. Even though he's an atheist, he's always thinking about religion. That's the gaslighting. That's the thought-stopping cliche. That's the manipulation. That's the bullshit. I'm not trying to get others to agree with me. I'm just putting the word out. A lot of people disagree with me. It's like I disagree with that freaking Gore hoodie guy. I don't think he had a dream. And even if he had a dream, so what? So fucking what? Okay, so anyway, let's get back. He says they feel compelled for reasons they don't typically examine to keep espousing their rejection of religious thought, often even going as far as to ridicule theistic thought. Yes, we ridicule your harmful, damaging dogma and doctrines and manipulation and coercion and guru worship and God-man worship and all that bullshit. Yeah, we ridicule it. And all your lies and all your bullshit. It says they argue that it is important to contest religion as it is a societal harm. Yes, absolutely. It is a societal harm, especially your cult. Don't get it twisted and think that because we're speaking out against Hare Krishna Cult, that we're attacking God or religion in general. No. So he goes on and he says, those who give up their vows and particularly abandon disciples likely have a lot of guilt to reckon with. Of course, it is tempting to invalidate the whole endeavor, which gets them off the hook psychologically. No. Bullshit. I own up to the fact that I joined this cult, brought my daughter into it. She was harmed by these freaks, and that was because of me. Nothing gets me off the hook. My doing this speaking out, doing what I'm doing, it doesn't get me off the hook or make anything better for her or get her justice from the guy that harmed her or the damage that this cult did to her and me. There's no getting off the hook for the damages that this cult. Who's off the hook for what? If anyone's just off the hook, it's you fucking gurus and your fucking bullshit who get to harm and damage all these people and hide behind the freedom of religion and then blame and shame victims and gaslight them and say that somehow us telling our stories and coming clean is somehow getting us psychologically off some kind of a hook. That he says now they are no longer a failed disciple of Vantasi weak. This is such bullshit. All of a sudden they become a discerning, critical thinker. Yes. That's right. We're not a brainwashed friggin' disciple. Weak-willed disciple. Can't think for themselves. A cult member. That's right. So he says, he goes on and on and on and says, Wayne now professes full conviction in scientific conclusions such as evolutionary theory. He makes it his daily business to criticize his former guru's arguments. Who is he actually trying to convince? Is he trying to recruit others so that he doesn't feel alone in abandoning Prabhupada and his vows? Recruit others. This whole idea that anyone who is speaking out and telling their story like me, like Dagmar, like Fake Human or Rafal or Duke of Squirrels or anybody, Weird Planet, anybody. And we're trying to recruit followers. We're trying to we're just saying, hey, this is what happened to me in this goddamn cult. Feel that, is he trying to recruit others so that he doesn't feel so alone and abandoning Prabhupada and his vows? We're trying to get over the psychological damage of this cult. They think they actually think it's funny. They think it's funny that we're trying to readjust to real life after the damage that this bullshit cult has caused everybody. They think it's kind of funny. They're like, you're abandoning Prabhupada. You abandoned your vows. That's on you. It's a sick fucking world that these people live in. And they're no different than this Gora Hari. Gora Hari is the same. This is the same things that he says. It's the exact same shit that he says. I've been watching some of your old first videos. You look lonely and sad, but now you look happy and mission oriented. Yeah, well, that was what, because nobody was watching. Because nobody was watching, and I was just like lonely old Mike. I was just lonely old Mike, man. Absolutely, you're right about that. It's so funny. Wayne Boyd, upon leaving ISKCON and getting married, began to work for Texas Correctional Police Department. Yeah, I'm gonna get more into this. So someone else says, Raja Sevika Dasi. She actually says, she's got a moment of clarity. She says, I don't personally know Mr. Boyd, but I have read many of his recent posts. My feeling was not at all that he is full of vengeance, nor is he trying to destroy anyone's faith, nor is he looking for followers. He is just explaining his views and why it makes sense to him. So you can see how not everybody shares it. That's what I'm saying is it's a twisted mindset that some of these people have. This one Dossie, she says, and then he says, and then he replies, he says, thank you for your opinion. I do not share your views on this, however. So he goes on and on. So let's look at what he's actually said that they have a hard time with. I don't know if I'm gonna let you know. I sent him a message asking and telling him what I'm doing, what we're doing, and inviting him in. I'm inviting him to come watch and to come join in. I said, I know you're busy and everything, Maharaj. No, I didn't say Maharaj, but I said if you want to come in and share with us, I said it'd be great. It'd be great. Hey Ghana, how you doing? Good to see you here. Good to see you. I'm sorry I'm a little late on the things. You didn't miss too much. Funny you should say that. I just saw a stream of yours from a year ago. Yeah, my microphone was bad. Some of them I shot on my phone. I mean, I was just getting started. I didn't have an audience. It was just Mike, Rather be a slave to Maya than some buttfucker pedophile. I know. If they think if he thinks I'm going to be laughing and crying and that's like the goal of life, you got to be out of your goddamn mind. So he remains outside the prison bars. Yeah, he was smart that way. He was smart that way. He said, you know what, I got to make sure I'm on the outside. Okay, so here he is. Here he is. It says from guru to skeptic. He's on Substack. If you should go subscribe to him, subscribe to me on Substack, and then you can subscribe to him. You can send him a message. Say come into Mike's thing, and maybe we can get him in here, and he can share some stories with us. It'd be really great if he did. I don't expect him to, but it'd be fun if we could get him to come in. If we get Mr. Boyd to come in and just I don't know. I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be fun. But here it is. He says, and there he is on an elephant. It says, "Here I am riding an elephant named Gulab Kali in Mayapur, India. A former ISKCON member wrote me a thoughtful letter. What follows is a portion of my response to him. I joined ISKCON in Brooklyn, New York, in 1973 and left in the summer of 2002. I started as a brahmachari, became a sannyasi, and eventually a guru with my own disciples. All told, I spent 29 years in the movement. I traveled across the U.S. selling books, which I hated, but did anyway, and I had more adventures than I could possibly recount in one letter. At one point, I visited the Gaudiya Math temples in Mayapur and confronted a couple of their gurus who were drawing away ISKCON devotees and claiming they were just as self-realized as Srila Prabhupada. I challenged them successfully, I think, and while some former ISKCON members criticized me, those who remained in the movement appreciated it. When the internet came along, I helped start ISKCON's first independent news site, chakra.org. Yeah, that's right. Though someone else owns the domain now. We were reporting on GBC meetings since I attended them and tried to offer transparency and commentary on the movement. I was also deeply involved in the arts. I became a skilled mridanga player, and after being trained by Sripati Das at Bhaktivedanta Manor in the late 70s, I went on to teach it around the world. I even had a website with instructional videos. Yes, I remember watching those videos. It was Learn Mridanga with Vipramukhya Swami. I regularly went out on Sankirtan and performed in the streets of London, New York, Johannesburg, Suva, Sydney, and all across Eurasia. But over time, cracks began to appear, especially in the philosophy. Take the Vedic cosmology, for example. Prabhupada wanted it depicted in the massive Mayapur temple as a literal model of the universe, but I knew the earth wasn't flat, and it certainly wasn't surrounded by cylindrical oceans and ring-shaped continents. Any attempt to explain that cosmology away always felt like just that, a rationalization. We don't see any hellish or heavenly planets. We don't even know if alien microbes exist, much less entire civilizations. We know vastly more about the universe now than people did even a few centuries ago. And when you start asking questions like when were the Vedas actually written, the whole picture starts to wobble. Okay, so he's pretty much, it pretty much sounds like, him and I went down a similar path. It sounds like he went down in 2002, and I went down it in 2012. So he goes on, he says, Bhagavad Gita is traditionally dated to around 3000 BC, but most scholars place its composition somewhere between the 5th and 2nd centuries BC. So, he says, I used to find Bhaktivinoda Thakur's story about discovering Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birthplace inspiring. According to the account, he had a vision of a glowing spot in a Tulsi field across the river from Navadvip. That was enough to declare it the true Janmastan, even though historical evidence pointed elsewhere. At the time, I believed it, but now it reminds me of Joseph Smith's vision of golden plates and the birth of Mormonism. He says, looking back, it seems clear that ISKCON was and still is viewed by most people as a fringe movement. And he goes on about the fracturing of the church, similar to Christianity. He goes on to more about philosophy, karma, He then says, I left ISKCON in 2002 after meeting my wife, since sannyasis are expected to remain celibate for life. After leaving, I didn't talk much about my past. Living in Amarillo, Texas, deep in the Bible Belt, I told people I was a book publisher. Technically true, but a far cry from the full story. It wasn't until 2023 that I finally let go of belief in God and reincarnation. With that shift came a long, unexpected conversion. It says, at the same time, I became a regular listener of the Skeptic's Guide to the Universe podcast. That said, it took me a long time to get there. For over 20 years, I called myself agnostic. Anyway, he goes on and on. He says, I'm proud of my years as a Hare Krishna. I wouldn't trade that experience for anything, but in the end, it was leaving that gave me the kind of self-realization that ISKCON always talked about. I don't know. I'm. Sorry you had to leave, Duke. I missed that. See you, Duke. Take care. Enjoying unlimited Lakshmis in Vaikuntha or becoming a 14-year-old Saki to be enjoyed in Vrindavan. Yeah, a little crack in the foundation and the whole damn burst. Absolutely. That's all it takes. That's exactly what Knitting Cult Lady says. He just wanted to get married. He just wanted to get married. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like he wanted to get married. It doesn't sound like, it doesn't sound, I don't want to speak for the guy. I'm proud that he came clean, he left, and he's, and he's on the path that he's on. I think he knows a lot. I think he should, I don't know, I think maybe he should speak out. Maybe he doesn't want to speak out. I'm not holding a grudge against the guy at all. I'm very proud of him, and I'm very excited that he's speaking his story. He's doing what he's doing. I commend him for that. I hope he continues to speak out. I hope he comes in here. I would love to ask him some questions. I would love to ask him some questions about, how he feels about his disciples that he deceived. Now that he doesn't believe in God or whatever, how does he feel about all the books and all of that stuff? Like, he was part of it, and all the children that were harmed while he was part of it. I mean, I don't feel good about it. I mean, I don't. And he was a guru, and he was misleading these people. And I know I'm not trying to, guilt trip him, but I would really like to know, like, how have you come to grips with that? How have you resolved that? I know Hans Saduda, he issued it in an apology. He wrote like an apology book or whatever, and yeah, he did. He chose normalcy over lunacy. Absolutely. And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely. Yeah, I think he got his life back. He got his life back, man. I'm happy for the guy. I really am. I'm happy for him. Look, Mr. Boyd, come on in and we'll talk, and we'll have some fun, and I'll gonna give you a hard time for something that you did. I think it's great that you did. I just have some honest issues about. I have some honest questions about what it's like to be a guru and what it's like to leave. That's that I really do. I have some really interesting questions. I'd like to know. I'm really interested in knowing your answer to some of these questions about, what it was like when you were a guru and you were believing in this stuff and preaching to these people. Like, Yeah, I mean, absolutely. His direct neighbors, he told he was a book publisher. Well, it definitely says something. Yeah, he didn't. He didn't want them to know. Hey, I used to be a Hare Krishna, and I mean, he says now. He says I'm proud of it. He says in here. Um, uh, what did he say? He says I'm not. I'm proud of my years as a Hare Krishna. He says he's proud. He says I'm proud of my years. I'm not. See, I'm not really proud. I've come to terms with it. You know, it happened. My daughter was abused. You know, I'm not proud of that. I'm not proud of that at all. Hey, Queen, good to see you. Good to see you. So he's got another essay here that he wrote that I wanted to share. Let me see if I can find it now. I don't know how it disappeared. I had it. I'm so bad with these things. Okay, so here it is. It says. So he says, so he's talking about believing in Santa Claus. Consider the case with the existence of Santa Claus. And so he's talking about how when he was a kid, he believed in Santa Claus, and his father played a trick on his friend, and he said, don't you believe now? And the kid was like, well, yeah, I guess so. But then, anyway, he says he doesn't believe in God now anymore. But somewhere in here, so he says here, when we look at the specific stories found in many religious traditions, the problem becomes even more apparent. In the Krishna tradition I followed for nearly 3 decades, there is a story about a tornado demon named Trinavarta who carried the infant Krishna high into the sky. Krishna, who is understood to be God, then became so heavy that the demon fell to the ground and was killed. I taught that story myself in my years as a Hare Krishna. At the time, I accepted it as part of sacred tradition. But when I look at it now, I do not find evidence that this is what tornadoes do, or that such an event actually happened. So, he has come to that understanding. You should be ashamed that he joined and come to terms with it, not feel proud. Yeah, I agree with you, Ghana. I would have to. That'd be one of the questions that I'd say. What do you feel proud about? I mean, what are you proud of? All the people that you deceived, all the disciples that you had, that you when you left, they just were like, huh? It defeats the whole purpose of leaving. And again, Mr. Boyd, if you're watching, I'm not. Come on, and I'll ask you some of these questions. I'm not trying to give you a hard time. I'm really not. I just want to know what that's like to be in your position as a GBC or as a guru, with this immense power over people's lives, and then bounce out with your wife or whatever, breaking your vows, having cracks in the foundation of your faith. And leaving and how are you proud of that? How does that make you feel proud? I'm proud that you're speaking out and saying, hey, there's no tornado that picked up a little baby and took him up in the sky. That didn't happen. I'm glad you're come to that conclusion. Because it sounds like we're on the same page. A lot of times. It sounds like we're on the same page, Mr. Boyd. I don't know. I'm just curious about the guru thing, and those wielding power in religious institutions are not under the same level of delusions as the followers. They know what they are doing. They enjoy the power that comes with it. I agree with you, but I do think that sometimes they do get carried away, and they start to believe they start to drink their own Kool-Aid. They start to drink a little bit of their own Kool-Aid. They start to smell their own farts, and they start to believe their own shit, like this Gora Hari guy. They start to believe a little bit of it, and the delusions take over. All faith-based systems end in delusion and lunacy. I think so. I think if you take it to the, if you just take it to the end, the end stage is mental illness. It just I'm sorry, it just is. It defeats the whole purpose of leaving. If you're going to leave, yeah, I mean, I don't want to. I feel like I wasted 20 years, but there was some. I did some good. I mean, I took my daughter. We went to India. It doesn't make up for the bad. Nothing good makes up for the bad stuff. But life went on. Life went on, and I tried to enjoy myself. I tried to enjoy myself. Yeah, I agree. Mr. Boyd made mistakes like we all did. From being a globetrotter lunatic, he was a gurupalooza, he realized that celibacy is a false repression. He quietly walked away after publishing a goodbye letter. Yeah, we went over that. I went over that in the video. And I think it was. It's not easy. It's not easy for Radhe to leave. It was not easy for him to leave. And, and that's why I say I'm very proud of the fact that he was able to get out and get his life back. That's the greatest thing. That's a success story right there. And that's why I'm really curious to ask him questions, or he could even just volunteer. I mean, he could just come in here and say, hey, I feel bad about all my disciples that I just chunked out of, but serious, I'm serious about it. Okay, so I wanted to show, because I'm curious, like, how crazy was he, and how does it feel to come back from that lunacy? How does it feel to come back from thinking that you're riding an elephant and you're in India and you're debating these swamis and you think you're a guru and you really think you're a guru, you think you're a super white Hindu, and then you stop. You stop. But what's that like? I want to know what that's like. I'm curious. I really am, and I don't mean that in a antagonist. In a real curious, in a curious way. I would like to talk. I would like him to come in and talk. Maybe by the time I get the technology to have someone else on here with me, he'll come on. I don't know, but anyway, let's hope he does. And I recommend that you go read his stuff. He's a pretty interesting guy. He's got some interesting stuff to say about spirituality, about God and life, retirement, Vedic culture. He's got some interesting articles. So definitely, I would say go subscribe or follow his Substack, and while you're doing that, you can check out mine as well. And you can mine's free. You don't have to. I don't charge you nothing. You can. There's nothing on there except these videos. But I met Vipramukhya once. I can't remember what year, around 95 or 96. I remember he had a Polish servant, but can't remember his name. Oh, maybe that was that Rafal? Maybe that was Rafal. No, I don't think it was Rafal. Okay, so I got some really good videos. First, I want to show you this one again. No, this is actually a new one. But it's an old subject, but I want to show it again. It's about language. It's about language. It's about this.
You're a fucker, man. You're fucked up, motherfucker, man. Fucker, man. You're a fucking prick and asshole. I hate your fucking blasphemy, Prabhu.
Rafal said, no, wasn't me. Rafal, wasn't me. Wasn't me. Okay. Um, okay, here we go with this. This is pretty good. Hey, Aviator Yochan, you gotta tell me why you're upset with Gora Hoodie. I gotta find out after this video what's up with you and him. Uh, let me see. Here we go.
This is another thing about cult language that I didn't mention in the last video that we cannot underestimate enough, is that cult language is in part to make you feel special. An insider language makes you feel special. It makes you feel like you are part of the group, right? As I'm sure many immigrants understand who move here not speaking English. But it's especially true when it is the distinguishable vernacular of a small group, right? And a lot about cults is to make you feel special. That's why people cling to it so hard from the outside. I'm Danielle, a scholar of cults, extreme groups, and extremely bad leadership, and I talk about this in my book, The Culting of America, in my chapter on language. The part of the appeal of a cult language is it makes you feel special. It brings you inside. When you come out of US Army basic training and you're starting to get all the acronyms and know all of the different ways of speaking, or when you get to your first unit and you start to get pulled into the insider game, it makes you feel special. That's what cults do. And cults are all about making you feel special. It's also why they use the as a naming convention so often. Another thing that I talk about in the book, quoted from other cult experts, about how cults are always using the because it subconsciously lets you know we're the only one. This is why I'm always making the point to tell you all that I am knitting cult lady. I'm not the knitting cult lady, because I wasn't going to put that in my name because it's culty and because I am always working to show that there's nothing special about me. I'm just a random lady in Maryland. Currently, I'm in Seattle, sitting in my house, pulling this all together, who has written these books, right, and had these experiences. But a cult leader is always trying to claim they're the only one. They are somehow special. This is actually at the end of the book. I have the Guru Gotcha checklist and the 15 red flags for toxic groups. And number one in both of those lists is a focus on your own uniqueness, constantly talking about how special you are and how you're the only group doing this. Nobody's the only one doing anything. And anyone trying to sell you that is trying to cult you or con you. You can get signed copies of The Culting of America, attached here, or listen to me read it to you anywhere you get your audiobooks. Actually, coming back to tell this story. So when Knitting Cult Baby was born, I decided to raise her in Portuguese. And then when we had the chance to have a nanny, I got a nanny that was from Guadalajara, Mexico, which is where I also grew up. So I grew up in Brazil and Mexico in the cult, amongst other places. And I speak Spanish and Portuguese. And I'm very culturally Latina, right? But because I look like a white lady, I've always had the experience where I have to sort of present my Latina credentials at the door. But when I had a child who fluently spoke Portuguese and Mexican Spanish with slang, I didn't have to do that. I was just immediately part of the group, right? So it's not to say that this is only a cult thing, but speaking the language of a group that you want to be part of is a very important part of being accepted. Language is so important to our groups and to our interactions as humans.
And let me see, what does he say here? In my Vedanta society, one of the Swamis sexually abused a girl. The monk was devastated. I said to her, he's just a man. No man is God. She looked like what I was saying was unbelievable. Yeah, a chosen one. That's they want it to be true. They want it to be true. Aviator was because he wouldn't let you laugh and cry with him. You wanted to laugh and cry, and he said, no, you can't laugh and cry. That's amazing. The Hare Krishnas. Yeah, I can't. I didn't want to be around. I don't want to be around these guys. I didn't want to be around these guys. I mean, I guess I was bound to leave eventually because it was not a spiritual. It's not a spiritual movement. And and this Gora Hari thing guy, he thinks that he's the real spiritual movement. He's even less spiritual than than these guys, than
You're
these
a
fake.
fucker, man. You're fucked up, motherfucker, man. Fucker, man. How you're a fucking prick and asshole. I hate your fucking blasphemy, Prabhu.
Well, if you listen to any of these preachers preach, they all speak the same, use the same words, the same vernacular. It's all code words. It's all ecstatic symptoms, transcendental bliss, modes of material nature. Everything is these, material body, the material nature, mundane this and mundane that. These words they use, it's so obvious. It's they're English words. They're just words that are just used in ways and in ways and when and at times when they're not needed or they're just not just ordinary words they're used. It's like, who says mundane? Who says, hey, you want to go to see a mundane movie? Hey, you want to watch some mundane television? Nobody says that. This is weird. I never saw Vipramukhya had a Polish servant. All had Polish servants in my story, freaky stuff. Yeah, what's up with that? What's up? What's up with that? Yeah, it's you got to use the words because when you use the words, it shows that you're part of the group, you're in the group, and you're advancing. And like this Lolita, she thinks if she says Vaidhi Bhaktis and Raganuga and ecstatic symptoms and Guru Maharaj, and she's got like a list of like 20 words and phrases that she just cycles through. She cycles through them. Same thing with Gora Hari. Same thing with Hridayananda. And that's another thing that I would ask this Vipramukhya, Wayne Boyd, about, when did you realize that you were just talking in circles? I mean, it took me 20 years. It took me like 18 years to figure that out. And I remember talking to my therapist about it. I was like, you're a psychologist. What do you call it when the argument just seems to just go round and round and round? And we laughed and we laughed. It was pretty funny. When you're practicing KC, you put up with shit you wouldn't normally. Absolutely. Trying to be all tolerant and humble. I know. That's why I said I'm not getting down and paying obeisances. Every time I run into somebody, I'm going to take my shoes off, get down on my hands, punch a couple of No, I'm not doing that. I'm just not doing it. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder what's up with that. That's weird. The code words. Okay, so we got the Nicole lady. Now I want to get into the more dangerous part. So this is really for anybody who's in it, trying to get out, having doubts. Maybe some cracks are appearing. Maybe you're tired of some of the abuse. Maybe you're just having personality clashes with some of the temple presidents or the temple commanders or the bhakta leader or the ashram leader or the head pujari or whoever it is, or somebody's wife or something, being a pain in the ass. Suhotra and Hare Krishna as well had Polish servants. Submissives is in the Polish DNA. Very strange when I think about it. It's strange, and I never thought about it until 5 minutes ago. It is really strange that all these gurus got, some Polish boys. I don't know. You tell me. I guess it's better than having a deer. You don't have a couple of deers running around. I feel like every guru has abused someone, whether it's a kid, woman. They do. They abuse everybody. That's part of being a guru. You have to, because you're in control of their life, and you have no business being in control of their lives. You have no training to be in control of somebody's life. You have no business being in control of somebody's life. You have no business telling somebody, you should have 11 kids, or you should have 4 more kids, or you should put your kids in the Gurukula, or you should move your trailer across the state and make a GoFundMe account. Oh, you should go do this. What the fuck? Has the whole world gone crazy?
The whole world gone crazy! Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the rules?
It's freaking insane, man. Realization of the self is not a reward conferred by a higher power as a reward for good behavior. The moment people fall for this trap, then the moral system itself becomes... Yes, absolutely. I'm going to get to that. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. I'm going to put that back up again. Because that's so important when it comes to spiritual blackmail. It's spiritual blackmail. Realization of the self is not given to me by some other guy. Gorhoy is not in control of my self-realization. He's not in control of my happiness. He's not in control of my love of God. Sri Dayananda or any of these guys, Indra Yumna Swami with his, I want to dance and my dancing is liberty. Your dancing isn't doing anything. You're not liberating anything with your little two-step and your it's freaking delusion. You can't make me spiritual. You can't do anything to change my life. I have to do it. It's as simple as that. And when someone like Gora Hari or Sri Dayananda or Indra Yumna or Bhakti Vikash or any of these guys convinces somebody that they've got that their happiness is dependent on them, you have to wash my feet. You're not going to be happy unless I'm happy. I need my feet washed, and I need some flowers because I just farted, and I need some flowers. And what the fuck is that? And then it just becomes a servant of the master. You're just following a guy around with flowers and a rope and washing his underwear and all this bullshit, so he can be happy. Fuck that. That's the trap. Oh, your spiritual life isn't anything unless you're pleasing the spiritual master. Fuck that. Take your gaslighting, shove it up your ass. That's exactly how I felt. We were all tolerating things we normally would. Absolutely. Tolerate things we wouldn't. I remember when I was like 7 years old, I was obsessed with deities and I wanted to be a pujari like those in Mayapur. Yeah, they were grooming you. They were grooming you for that. They were grooming you for that. What's wrong with these Polish guys? I know. What's wrong with these Polish guys? Yeah, it's blackmail. It's blackmail. It's spiritual, emotional blackmail. The temple commander does not allow me to pray kirtan without wearing the dhoti kurta uniform. He banned me without wearing that. Yeah, the more they can control they want to control everything. If they could control every single thing, what kind of shoe, what kind of sandals you're wearing, what kind of underwear you're wearing. I remember when he told me, he said, you can't wear Fruit of the Looms. You can see through your dhoti that you're wearing Karmi underwear, and that is sense enjoyment. And I was just like, what the fuck now? No, you gotta wear the Copans. You gotta wear these. I was like, oh, this, and again, it's with the blackmail. It's like, well, you're not surrendered. You're not spiritual. You don't understand. You're not taking it seriously. You're not this. You're not that. It's my fault. My fault. My fault. I know. Has the whole world gone crazy? Has the whole world gone
Has
crazy?
the whole world gone crazy? Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the rules?
Is so stupid preaching his sectarian crap. I'll bet he's listening. He probably is listening because he likes my show better than he likes this show better than anything else. And he's probably learning. He's learning about deer. He's learning about bestiality. He's learning about all kinds of stuff that he didn't know. And I have family there. I have to keep dealing with these guys. Yeah. Okay. So I got to get to some of these. I saw a video of people doing a foot wash at the Radha Kunj temple, and it honestly feels like a humiliation. It is a humiliation ritual. It is. Okay, so let me get to some of these videos because these are really good, and it explains. I'm really into this, the mental condition of these people. The mental condition. I think we got to come together, and we got to push that this is a mental illness. It is. That's why Wayne Boyd's got to come in here and he's got to say, yes, it's crazy. It's crazy. I agree. I hate the whole guru thing because to me, no man can give you salvation from God, no matter what God you believe in. There's just no way. I know that's the basis of their whole cult is you got to surrender to this guy, and because you're surrendered to him, he magically puts information into your brain. Just by you wanting it from him, and he can. It's a magical, mystical transmission of knowledge, and this guy thinks that he got it through a dream, and now he can give it to somebody. It's friggin', it's delusional. It is. It's delusional. Okay, I'm gonna skip over some of your. Yeah, you can't. You can't wear karmi underwear if you're gonna worship deities. You got to wear Brahmin underwear. You got to wear Brahmin underwear if you're gonna worship the deities, like Mormons and all of these weird underwear rules. That's like crazy. Again, has the whole world got crazy? You want me to wear what?
Has the whole world gone crazy? Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the rules?
Okay, here we go. I'm cutting some of these comments so I can get to this video. And let me see.
Narcissists who are also sociopathic are bad news. These individuals can be very charming, but it becomes a precursor for exploitation. These people have a lack of a moral compass. They are very chameleon-like, which means that they are experts at deception. In addition, they are, of course, then pathological liars. They have a callous disregard for your core decency. They're prone to wild mood swings. They have an insatiable need for admiration, and when you don't give it, here comes the really strong anger. If you're attached to someone like this, I can promise you it's not going to end well. Narcissism.
And that's what I'm saying to anyone like this Radhe, or anyone who's in a position like this Radhe who reached out to me, being in this cult, and your husband's in it, and you don't want to be in it, and you don't want to worship this guy, and he's making you go on YouTube and say that you're in the cult and say that you're happy when you're really not, and you know that you're not. You wouldn't be reaching out to me. You wouldn't be confronting him. It has nothing to do with me. It has to do with this woman is not happy in this cult. And this guy right here is saying, if you're involved with people like this, if you're involved with these narcissists, these controlling narcissists,
insatiable need for admiration.
Who's got a bigger need, insatiable need for admiration than this guy that's got control over this Radhe?
And when you don't give it, here comes the really strong anger.
And who gets angry when she doesn't want to, when she says she doesn't want to be in his group? Who gets all angry and starts talking like and starts talking like this?
You're a fucker, man. You're fucked up, motherfucker, man. Fucker, man. You're a fucking prick and asshole. I hate your fucking blasphemy, Prabhu.
If you're attached to someone like this, I can promise you it's not going to end well.
He says it's not going to end well. And you can already see that it's not going well at all with her. And she can pretend all she wants. She can pretend it's okay, and she can do this and do that. And it's just it's never going to end well. He's just talking. He's talking about all of them, but we've seen this guy firsthand attack this woman, humiliate this woman, bully her husband, bully Lolita, all of this stuff. He's just not a spiritual person at all. He's a liar. He's a scammer, and it's not going to end well for her. It's just not. And he's absolutely right. Okay, I got more. It's so amazing. This is what I'm talking about. Somebody needs to study these gurus and figure out what's going on with them.
By definition, covert narcissists try to cover how selfish and insensitive they actually are, but here's how they show their true colors. They'll remain loyal only as you prove to be utile to them. They live for admiration, and in its absence, they'll fume and hold on to grudges. Over time, they'll show that they truly don't care how you feel or think. While they can be publicly pleasant, behind the scenes, they can have plenty of irritability. And then they absolutely cannot and will not be personally or emotionally vulnerable. They cling to stubborn, unyielding opinions. And then if their character defects are exposed, they'll declare themselves to be misunderstood victims. Then, as long as you're connected to them, covert narcissists will insist that it's your job to prop up their false self. You know what? As you see this for what it's worth, you'll hopefully come to the conclusion you don't have to play along with that kind of game playing.
And I think that's exactly what this Radhe is. She's at that point where she's like, I don't have to go through this. She's like, like she was saying to him, we watched that video where she was saying to him, when is enough enough? When do I not have to do anymore? When does it end? When does this shit end? When does the bullying, the humiliation, the manipulation, the coercion, the constant admiration and glorifying this guy, when does it end? And I'm going to do this for the rest of my life? For the next 30 years? Until I keel over? I'm expected to go into your friggin' class every day, zoom with a boom boom, and tell you how great you are? That's what she's saying. She's like, what the fuck? Hey, he can't handle it. He just can't handle it. And he's got me, and he's got us. ISKCON is now either about loyalists or royalists within its own temples, and even the GBC is nothing more but power-hungry jocks who are covert. Everybody in there, they all have some narcissistic need. Like these followers having this narcissistic need to be a follower of a guru and feel special. That's what the cult lady was saying. And they gotta feel special. We were saying the last stream. Without this cult, they're nothing. They're just Mike. They're just Mark. They're just Willie, Zoda, and Matilda, whatever, and Noodles, and Jennifer, and Fred. And Duffman.
Duffman's pension has been mismanaged. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Who wants to be Duffman when you can be, you know, a pure devotee having ecstatic symptoms? The guru hypnosis, he believes he's a Christ, but even higher. Even higher, I can take you higher. Everybody did. Everybody warned about these idiots, I'm telling you. And now Mike's warning you too. It's crazy. Okay, I got some more because these are really good. I mean, you really got to understand how these gurus, how these people are mentally ill. They're just being little Willie Zoda. It ain't good enough. It just ain't. It just ain't. It kills him. It kills him. You know, it was so funny because, you know, I yell at him and I talk shit to him because his followers, him and his followers need to know that that's the real world. The real world is he's nothing but a creepy ass sexual predator, piece of shit, cult manipulating whatever the fuck, con artist. That's the real world. Not in their friggin' demented bubble. And when Lolita was saying, "Oh my God, he was blaspheming my guru," you can't blaspheme a con artist. He was blaspheming my guru, and he was saying these horrible things and blah blah blah. Yeah, that's exactly why I did it. So you can see how a normal person reacts to a predator, creepy ass, sexual predator, manipulating, megalomaniac, narcissistic, delusional, mental patient. Two days ago, I found out that the circle is getting tighter on a daily basis, meaning accusations begin to surface on Indra Yumna having inappropriate relations with female disciples. I mean, who who couldn't see that? I mean, who couldn't see that coming? I mean, it's so crazy. Okay, what is this? Okay, hold on. Okay, so again, this is really for anybody who's in a Gora hoodie type cult, online cult, or is in ISKCON, in the ashram, or having to deal with these people. If you have to deal with these gurus or temple presidents or their wives or anything, this is what you got to remember, and you got to just take note of this right here. This.
Narcissists try to empty you of yourself and fill you with them. They bring various mandates to the equation. Let's see if we can highlight 6 of the most common of those mandates. Number 1, drop your core values. Make their values your own. Number 2, if you feel uncomfortable with their emotions, suppress it. Number 3, overlook anything that they seem to think and say and do that feels shady. Your perceptions are probably off anyway. Number 4, you have to memorize their script for them. Anticipate what their agenda requires of you. Number 5, always speak highly of them in public, like always. And number 6, above all, do not refer to evil as evil. If you think they're cruel, it just means you're not thinking straight. Rather than defending yourself when they come up with these mandates, let's take a different tact, and that is trust in your own integrity and then unhook.
Yes, and then you what is it? Once you unhook, then
Just
you can
walk away.
Walk away.
There has been too much violence, too much pain. Just walk away. and there will be an end to Vihara. Just walk away.
I mean, when this guy explains this, it's so obvious what's going on. It's like a slap in the face. It's a slap in the face to me. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you here. Absolutely. Yeah.
I deserve good things. I am entitled to my share of happiness. I refuse to beat myself up. I am an attractive person. I am fun to be with. I'm going to do a terrific show today, and I'm going to help people because I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.
Okay. All right. So, somebody left a comment on the last live stream. They said, they said, hey, you're doing a good job, but you look like someone in Maya, so you probably won't trend on the Hare Krishna, within the Hare Krishna community. And I said, well, are you saying I should dress up like a devotee and I should do this as a devotee? Because I don't know, that's pretty funny. Okay, so I gotta get to this next video. Here we go.
So this concept of spiritual narcissism is when it's a psychological or it's a behavioral phenomena where you are leveraging your spiritual beliefs, but more important than like your actual belief system, your ability to articulate those belief systems to exercise superiority over other people. Talk about the bigger picture, talk about death, talk about life in a way that gets everybody around me to sort of bend a knee and act like I am the most important, most thoughtful person around.
Okay, well, that's an interesting idea. You think I should dress up as a devotee and make fun of him? That's I got some ideas. I could maybe where is it? Maybe Bhakti Venmo, Sri Mukunda Swami could make an appearance. Come in. I'll have to get some flowers. I don't know where I'm going to find some flowers. I could do that. You think I should do that? Do you guys want to see a Bhakti Venmo, Sri Mukunda Swami come in here and talk about the deer? You want to see that? I mean, I could make that happen. I could make that happen. Let's see. Okay, so and as I've been saying, again, I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV or the radio. I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV. I'm just stop fondling the deers. Yes, absolutely. I'm just an animal rights activist that says don't fondle the deer. But I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist. Any kind of training, like mental health training at all. But I have been saying for a long time that these gurus and these teachings are dangerous. They cause mental illness and they're dangerous. Okay, dangerous in many ways that I've gone over. Pedophilia, child marriage, bestiality, evidently. Yeah, we got the deer and everything. This stuff is dangerous. Dr. Mukunda, Sri Mukunda Swami. He's going to have to come up, that's a good project. Yeah, I mean, if Gorahari can do it, if Gorahari can do it, that's too funny. Okay. But what I was saying is that this is dangerous. I'm not a doctor, but I had a feeling in my gut that this shit's dangerous. And lo and behold, a lot of these doctors come up and say that this behavior is dangerous. And that's why I'm saying that these doctors, one of these doctors has got to say, yeah, let's study these gurus. That's what I'm saying. I gotta make enough noise that one of these doctors has to say, you know what? Let me take a look at some of these gurus that this guy's talking about. Hot lips is deer. She's a deer. Okay. Here we go.
If you have ongoing exposure to controlling people, it's a virtual certainty that you're going to experience blurry boundaries, which is why I've created the extensive online course called This Is Me, Establishing Boundaries with the Controllers in Your Life. There's a link below that will give you all of the details, and I hope that you would find it therapeutic. In multiple discussions I've had with you in the past, we've talked about how narcissists don't necessarily show themselves to be as pathological up front as it turns out that they're eventually going to illustrate to you that they are. I've known, though, because of counseling sessions that I've had and many discussions with individuals who have struggled with very difficult people, that sometimes the further you get into that relationship, you realize this isn't just a disappointing relationship. It's become dangerous. This is somebody that is such a bad apple. This is somebody that's so difficult and impossible to get along with. I really don't know what they'll do to me or to people that I'm attached to. They can sabotage. They can make my life absolutely miserable. They can hinder your good relations with other individuals. There are 3 different characteristics that I want you to be aware of that if seen in combination with one another can indicate that that person is indeed a dangerous person. Somebody that you need to stay away from and have as little to no contact with them as possible. Now, the 3 traits or the 3 characteristics I want to discuss with you today are the characteristic of, number 1, being a complete phony. Number 2, having pervasive anger issues. And then number 3, operating with a strong calloused nature. Now, let's go through each one of these 3 and see.
I mean, I know, you know, that's that right there, you know, the 3 trait combination that makes narcissists dangerous. Well, I know of at least one guru that we're dealing with that has those 3, and just about every one. I would say that Rafael knows these gurus. Rafael's been with these gurus, a bunch of them. He was like the servant for 2 of them, and then you know he met a bunch of other ones while he was doing that. So Rafael would know better than anybody if what this guy is saying applies to these gurus. Look, it says complete phony, pervasive anger, and callousness. Yeah, I remember you had a Sanskrit test. I remember that. So Lalita, he discarded Lalita he's just too amazing to have more than one boom boom, I guess. You passed it, great. Congratulations to you. That's good. I'm glad you passed. That's good. Yeah, I don't know about I don't know about all the boom boom with Gorahari.
It goes boom, 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 I can dance. Boom, 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 yay. He's singing with me, and then you'll know. Boom, 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 yay. You go, lady. Boom, 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 yay.
But I do know that he has anger issues.
You're a fucker, man. You're fucked up, motherfucker, man. Fucker, man. How you're a fucking prick and asshole. I hate your fucking blasphemy, Prabhu.
That's what happens when you don't surrender to a narcissist. When you call their bluff and you tell them you're a phony and you're a fake and a phony and you're full of shit. You just say that to a narcissist, and that's what happens. They freak out. And you think only Gora Hari talk like that? They all talk like that.
You're a fucker, man.
They all talk like
you're
that.
You're fucked up, motherfucker, man. Fucker, man. How you're a fucking prick and asshole. I hate your fucking blasphemy, Prabhu.
He says that, and then when he's done saying that, he says this.
I deserve good things. I am entitled to my share of happiness. I refuse to beat myself up. I am an attractive person. I am fun to be with. I'm going to do a terrific show today, and I'm going to help people because I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.
Absolutely correct. See? Absolutely correct. See, that's why Mr. Boyd, you got to come in here and talk with us, man. We're not angry with you. We're on your side, man. We want you to be part of the family, man. We want you to be part of the good rice. We want you to come in and enjoy the good rice. Enjoy some good rice with us. That's all we're saying, Mr. Boyd. Absolutely correct. It all falls into place. This PhD just convinced me personally that we were right with personal observation. That's what I'm saying. He's all of these doctors, from Knitting Cult Lady to this Les Carter to the MAGA guy, to the other lady, to the Mormon lady, to the atheist lady. They're all saying the same thing. They're all pieces of the puzzle. They're all putting in a little piece of this guru profile of the craziness, the mental illness of these gurus. And each doctor, each person is putting their own piece of the puzzle. And we're sitting here putting the puzzle together because no one else is doing it except us. I told you we'd get to the bottom of this. I told you we'd get to the nuts and bolts of this whole thing.
A strong, calloused nature. Now, let's go through each one of these three and see what kind of what this does and what it tells us about that individual and who they are and how they engage with you. The first one, being a complete phony. One of the things that we know about narcissists is that they live with what we call the false self or the false front that's in charge of them. Somewhere along the way, they decided, you know what? I am not about to let people see the real me. I don't want you to know what my hurts and what my needs are. I don't want you to know what my flaws or weaknesses are. And so instead, they've learned how to read the audience in front of them, and they've learned how to figure out what the rules of engagement might be. And it's like, okay, if you need me to be this way, I can do that for a while. Or if you need to...
And that's why these guys, and Raphael can tell you, and Raphael can tell you, but we can see it with this Gora hoodie guy. It's a total phony. That's why he's got to make his lives private. He's got to delete his videos because he says shit that that proves he's a phony. And he doesn't want the world to see that he's a phony because he doesn't know what he's talking about. And he wants to pretend like he's some enlightened spiritual leader, and he doesn't know what he's talking about. Krishna's in your head, your thoughts are Krishna, or whatever the fuck he's talking about. And he knows, he knows. And so then he deletes his shit. He knows that Mike or somebody is going to critique what he's saying or watch him when he's interrogating Radhe or something, and they're going to know that he's a phony. People are going to see it. Ordinary people can see it. That's evidence of him being a phony. At least Sri Dayananda, He's up there preaching, and he says this shit, and he leaves. He's a phony too, but he leaves his shit up. He's not pretending he didn't say it. He's Sri Dayananda is writing books and traveling around and preaching and going here and going there, and he's cosplaying to the times 9. That's it's oh man, it's just too funny. Living behind the false self, memories of Polish submissive servant, how to leave a cult and enjoy life. Exactly. It's too funny. Oh man, these videos are really good. Because I'm telling you, we're getting into the psyche of these gurus, and to some extent, to a large extent, the followers.
For me to adapt to this kind of pattern, I can do it for a while. But even so, they're making their adjustments in their chameleon kind of way so that they can score wins. They think of relationships as being competitions. They're deathly afraid of being on the losing end of life or the losing end of engagements and decisions with other individuals. And so they don't just look at you as somebody that they can share with authentically. They look at you as somebody that they need to manipulate. They can't be honest about who they are. And therefore, if they can't be honest about who they are, they're going to have low self-disclosure, and they're going to have a low appreciation for who you are. They're constantly looking for ways to put themselves into a favorable position. If they are friendly or if they are helpful, it's a ploy. It's part of their calculated scheme to stay in the top position. They have lots of secrets. What you think you know about them may not be anywhere close to the full story. And they live by the motto, you will not get to know the inside of me. They don't even know the inside of themselves, but you will not get to know me. I need to know who you are, but you're not going to know me. They're very phony in the way that they engage. But then that second one, when I say that a second of the 3 traits that make them very dangerous is they have a pervasive anger issue. It's one thing for some narcissists, well, all narcissists, to have that sense of false self, but these individuals can actually have an ongoing, underlying, simmering agitation and irritability. It just simply takes very little to set them off.
Okay. I believe that Prabhupada fell into that category where it took very little to set him off. And he was agitated and angry. And he's chanting japa, and he's giving this spirit, this facade of I'm a spiritual leader, I'm a Hindu priest, or I'm a Vaishnava, or whatever the fuck he thought he was. But that was just covering up his anger. I'm telling you, Prabhupada was an angry man. He was angry. He was resentful. He thought everyone needed to surrender to him. He thought he was greater than the Pope or than this or that, and he wasn't respected for it. He was getting sued. He had lawsuits and accusations of brainwashing. He couldn't sell a book. His disciples had to go out and beg to sell these books on the streets. He was an angry little shithead, marrying off little girls to grown men. That's all he was. And I believe he was angry. He was angry. Protein. Yeah, you got to drink those protein shakes. No more fungus smoothies. This is protein shakes. When does this shit end is saying, when are we enlightened? When do we become God-men? When are we enlightened? When are we self-realized? I don't know, Bobby. You tell me. You tell me, Bobby. When does it all end? Well, yeah, we could, it should be, somebody should write the book. They got to interview each one of us, and each one of us is like a chapter in the book. That's what it's like. Okay, wait a minute. Here we go. This is a good one.
And I've had so many people that have talked with me about how I just said a little small disagreement, or I made a mistake, or something happened and we just weren't on the same page, and boom, it took next to nothing to trigger their anger. Many times these dangerous narcissists will come across with very loud and forceful and rageful anger. Sometimes, if they're a little bit more guarded than that, they can just have a strong sense of contempt for other individuals. It's like you just feel like I'm in the presence of someone who hates me.
You're a fucker, man. You're fucked up. Motherfucker, man. Fucker, man. How you're a fucking prick and asshole. I hate your fucking blasphemy, Prabhu.
I'm in the presence of someone who just thinks that I am lower than a snake's belly, if you will. And as a result, the anger, the simmering agitation is just constantly there. And that anger is driven by what I refer to as a strong imperative style of thinking. And when I say imperative, very commanding, very controlling, very overbearing. You must. You have to, you've got to, you're supposed to, and there's little variance as to what they will and will not accept from other individuals, which then makes their anger so easily accessible to them, because we all deviate or differ from one another, but in their world, it's like, no, you'd better not deviate from me. And then once that anger shows up on the inside of them, assertiveness is not an option. Through the years, I've taught many anger workshops, and I've written on the topic of anger, and I explain, it's not wrong or it's not unusual for people to feel angry. It's what you do with it that counts, and in the healthiest sense, we can speak with one another about our needs and our convictions in an assertive way, where we talk fairly about what's going on, and we do so in a way where each person gets to walk away with their self-respect still intact. For this narcissistic person, it's like, no, assertiveness is not an option. They consciously choose.
So this Radhe tried to assert herself. Radhe tried to assert herself. It didn't go anywhere. She reached out to me, and then she tried to assert herself with him. And then she went back, and then she tried to assert herself again. And we watched when he was in the red and a little pink hat, and he was interviewing her. He called her a dick. And none of that had anything to do with me. It had to do with her trying to just put some boundaries, trying to be herself, and him just not having anything to do with it. Nothing. And you can imagine, and Rafael will tell you, Rafael actually said that he chastised one of his disciples because they wanted to grow some facial hair. He said, you can't grow facial hair. What the fuck does he care? What is it about him that he can tell somebody whether they can grow facial hair or not? Oh no, you can't grow facial hair. That's not Shastrik or Satvik or whatever the fuck he was. That's not Suchi or whatever it is, You can imagine if the guy said, no, I'm growing a beard. And he said, well, then you're not my disciple. And he said, no, I'm your disciple. You can't reject me as a disciple because I want to grow a beard. And he's like, oh, yes, I can decide. What the fuck is that? This is insanity. I'm telling you, this is insanity. And I'm not making that up.
The whole world gone crazy! Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the rules?
Hey, you know what I'm saying? I know my terms. I know my words. Absolutely. I'm telling you. Maybe chapter 4, Mike. Chapter 5, Rafael. Chapter 6, Jenna. So funny. Yeah. So that's too funny.
Choose to humiliate people when they're angry. They consciously choose to put people in their place. That's like, I am going to teach you a lesson, and it's going to be a lesson that you will not forget. They are very overwhelming in their use of anger. So you have the phoniness combined with anger. But then when we get to that third trait, this is the one that makes them most dangerous. And that is, some of these narcissists can have a strong, calloused nature. They've just got a hardened way in which they engage with other individuals. Their attitudes are hardened. There's an I couldn't care less notion that they bring toward other individuals. Now, it's almost stating the obvious, but we're going to just simply say it. They have virtually no appreciation or understanding of love. Love can create all sorts of goodwill, but it's like, I don't need goodwill. Instead, they go towards the characteristics that make them a bully, and they're very forceful in the way that they engage with other individuals. And part of their calloused nature is that they become just hardened or impervious to the pain that they inflict in other individuals. Have you ever had that happen to you where you're over there pleading your case? Or
Yeah, absolutely. He's describing that because we actually watched it happen. We've watched him. We got to see him do all of this. We multiple times. I could stop him and then play a clip of Gorahari doing exactly what he's saying, as an example of what every example that these doctors say of what these narcissists, these people are doing. I could show a clip of him doing it. And and he's seen it. He's been watching these clips. He's seen this stuff. But there's a video where it says, does the narcissist know what he's doing? Does he care? We haven't got to that video yet. But absolutely, he what he is describing, it's all of them. Because Gorahari, he's no different than any of these other ones. Okay. So I'm gonna move on from this guy and go right into this guy. So this is another good one. They're all really good. These videos. I'm learning so much. Let's see what this. Okay, here we go.
Watch what alcohol does to stuck poop.
If your belly
Stuck
blows
poop.
up like a balloon every time you eat, you have what doctors call a
Hey everyone, it's Dr. Ramani. Welcome back to this YouTube channel on narcissism. So let's talk a little bit about narcissistic people and pseudo-spirituality, shall we? If you're new to this channel, also please hit that subscribe button because it's a great community and you're learning all kinds of stuff about narcissism here. Now, one way that narcissistic folks gaslight the unfortunate folks who have to interact with them is by pretending to be spiritually evolved. Drop in the comments if any of you have run into these spiritually evolved narcissists. They take a few meditation retreats, fly down to Central America, do a whole ayahuasca thing, find a guru to enable them, get into the best branded yoga class, read some Vedantic texts, dangle a few crystals in their house, and talk more slowly and quietly. And voila, they're evolved, and you are not. So when you are just trying to live your life in the real
And voila, you're Lalita Gunga. You're the most advanced spiritual person on the planet because you've got Gorahari as your guru, and now you can give class and you can explain everything about Mahabhava and Raganuga Bhakti and everything because you've read some couple of verses from a book you don't even know what it means, but you've been reading it, the same verse, the same 5 verses you've been reading for 20 years. And now you're the most advanced spiritual person in the world because you got big red lipstick on and you got the little black wig, and you're Guru Ma. You're just Guru Ma on a spiritual, pseudo spiritual journey with your narcissist guru. Freaking insanity. That's how this insanity spreads. Like that Dr. Bandy Lee said. It's like a contagion. It's like a virus. It's a mental illness, and it spreads from person to person. With the cult leader as patient zero. I'm not joking.
World with all of its demands and rules, and ask for anything, or heaven forbid you raise your voice, you get them to say, shall we breathe?
Never, and I mean never, ask, how was your weekend?
How was your weekend? How's the weather?
I learned in my retreat it could be your chakras. And come, join me, and let's have some matcha. Oh no. Let's talk about spiritual bypassing and where it meets enabling. My friend Janata, hey Janata, talked to me about this at dinner the other night, and I grabbed my little notepad and wrote it down right away. She was talking about this idea of people who performatively engage in the spiritual plane. They try to nail down the guru and ask for the spirituality intensive, right? And assume that enough time with the right shamanic healer or the right yoga retreat, and then they get to be fast-tracked to spiritual evolution. Then they either post about their spiritual growth on social media, or they lord it over other people. You aren't evolved, but I am, because I didn't speak or look at my phone for a whole week and I ate lentils. But not so fast.
And I had a dream. Because I had a dream.
He didn't have that dream. I did.
I had a dream, and then right after I had a dream, Fred Flintstone came. Oh my God.
Folks, not sure that's spiritual evolution. Spiritual bypassing is a term that was developed by someone named John Wellwood, a therapist. And he talked about it as a defensive maneuver, a person using spiritual concepts to actually avoid facing their real psychological issues. Interestingly, spiritual bypassers are the ones who are quite self-righteous about their entitlement and often bring toxic positivity. But they are not dealing with the actual mess that is their psyche. And I think you know where I'm going with this. When even spiritual growth becomes a competitive and self-righteous endeavor, that's not good. And this idea of spiritual bypassing really dovetails with narcissism, because there we also see the avoidance of doing the real psychological work, engaging in real vulnerability, being self-aware of how they're affecting other people, and using the superficial spiritual posturing as a way of actually denying core emotional issues.
I believe in that 100%. I believe in that 100%. I believe that these narcissists in spiritual life, like these gurus, these Hridayanandas and Bhakti Vikash and the Gauraharis and all these freaks and the Prabhupads, is spiritual bypassing. They're using this spirituality, this holier than thou, this I'm on another level, this advanced, pure devotee, whatever, all that bullshit, to bypass whatever issues they have in their life, inadequacy, sexual maturity, whatever the fuck they can't come to grips with in their life, they do the spiritual bypassing. Their narcissism leads them to this persona that they're greater than God, they're as great as God, they're gonna save the world, they're just the greatest thing ever. They can translate plates, they can see the future, they can all of that. I think he honestly, look, honestly, I think he is the perfect case for them to study. I think he's the perfect case for them to study. He talks about his life. He talks about his gurus. He talks about Chaitanya. He talks about Jesus. He gives it all away. These doctors, all of these doctors, each one of these people, each one of these people could analyze him. Knitting cult lady, she could do Gaura Hari. And the Les Carter guy, he could do them. And the Dr. Raman, he could do them. They could all give their rundown on this guy, and they would all say the same thing. They'd say, lock this fucker up. He's dangerous. I believe he probably would claim that he did. He's like, I found the Dead Sea Scrolls. Whatever. He's everything. The guy is everything. I swear to God, man. The narcissism is strong with that guy. I'm telling you, the narcissism is strong with him. But it's strong with all of them. It has to be. That's why I want to talk to Mr. Wayne Boyd. It's like, how can you be a normal person and be a guru? And he's going to say, you can't. You got to be on another level of insanity. You got to think that you're all of this plus that times 9 and everything. And that's why I guess it takes a special kind of scumbag, special kind of douchebag to do the Gaura Hari thing, to really write it out. And Vipramukhya, Mr. Wayne Boyd, he was not that kind of guy, and I commend him for it. I really do. I commend him for it, man. I agree, man. Study this guy. I just send the tapes. Send in the tape. Roll the tape. We're going to roll the tape on this one. I'm telling you. Okay. Okay. So this is another really good one. This might... Okay, here we go. This one is good too. It's our old friend again, Mr. Les Carter. Here we go.
As you learn about the narcissistic pattern, it's also wise to reflect on the much healthier alternatives. Now below you're going to find a link to my new extensive course called Ready, Set, Connect. It addresses both the mindset and the skills involved in gratifying relationships, and I hope you'll find it to be quite therapeutic. There's one word that hardly any of us would want to use to describe ourselves, and that would be the word stagnant. As we age, we hope that we can be in a growth process, that we're evolving and we're learning more and more about who we are and what the world out there is all about. We can become more expansive. We shift into new and more enlightened ways of managing life. And let's hope that that's something that each one of us would aspire to. We have a word for that, and that's called maturation. With narcissists, that word stagnation is not very appealing to them either. But instead of them growing into a healthier direction, they take their characteristics in the opposite direction and they go further and further into their dysfunction. Let's keep in mind that narcissism is indeed a pattern on a spectrum, and you can start out at a certain place on that spectrum. And as the years go by, it can get worse and worse. And one of the biggest problems or concerns that we might have about people of a narcissistic bent is that they can step into the world of sociopathy. And basically, when we're talking about sociopathy, we're talking about a form of narcissism that just goes even further than your run-of-the-mill narcissist. And by the way, I as I think back on some of the individuals that I've worked with and talked with and known, I mean, there are times when people might have earlier in life purported to be, the keeper of the rules and the one that you count on, but then they become inclined towards cheating people out of money or sexually aberrant behavior or fun for the sake of having fun, to the point that they bring other individuals down and irresponsibility takes over and they can collapse, or they can bring other individuals down. That's what I mean when I talk about going into sociopathy. Basically, the sociopathic individual is someone who has that core self-centeredness. They have that willingness to exploit and manipulate. They're entitled, they lack empathy, they want to be in control. But then there are just extra ingredients that are a part of that take it further and further down the spectrum in a very unhealthy way. When you develop sociopathic tendencies, there are multiple indicators that are involved. First, narcissists who then move further and further into sociopathy have decided rules and standards and norms aren't for me. They disregard that. In addition, they have not just a disregard, but a reckless disregard for the harm or the consequences that might come from some of their choices and some of their priorities.
Okay, so this is sounding like gurus. I'm telling you, this is sounding like gurus. Like he's saying that they move from narcissism into sociopathy. They become sociopaths. And what he's describing, again, it sounds like gurus. Guru behavior. I can't help it. It just is. It just is.
They can be highly impulsive, and they have poor self-restraint. And of course, what this does is it sets them up for impatience and irritability and sometimes rage and anger, because they've got such a strong need.
You know that these gurus, Rafal, where are you, Rafal? Rafal, tell us how these gurus fly off the handle when their prasadam's not ready, or their chaddar's not ironed, or their dhodi's not ready, or their whatever the fuck is not ready. Now they gotta wait. Where's my flower garland? Wait, what happened? I thought I was getting my feet washed. Tell us how irritable they are, how impatient they are, how entitled they are. I know. I already know. I spent a weekend filming Tamal Krishna. I know exactly how they act. Disregard for the harm caused. Absolutely. Disregard for the harm caused. Yeah, even if he's watching, he can't. It doesn't sink in. I don't know where that is. But it doesn't sink in. He's not going to sit there and go, "Oh yeah, I do that, don't I?" He's going to say, "Well, when I do it, I have to." When I make fun of Radhe, I had to. That was good. I was preaching. I was spreading the word. And look at him. He's just saying it again. Fuck me. Absolutely correct. A chapati coming 3 seconds later can trigger a tornado. I know. Absolutely. Absolutely. Irritable, cranky, impatient. It's insane that this is what we're dealing with. I'm told you. I said I do a deep dive into the psychology of these gurus, man, it's going to be scary, and it is. It's scary, man. Oh my goodness.
Have things go exactly as they want. They're highly controlling. They suspend their conscience, if you will. They can know what's right versus wrong, but it's like, I don't feel like doing that today. And as a result, then they can have all sorts of behaviors that can take them sometimes pushing the boundaries of legality and then beyond. Sociopathic narcissists are pervasively dishonest, and narcissists can have a lot of dishonesty because so much of their life is built upon a false self. But with the sociopath, it's so central to what they are that it's just how they do life. Honesty is just something I don't have that much regard for. They can be charming, but then in their charm, they have devious intentions. They're very willing to use and exploit people. They're pleasure seekers, and they will do whatever they want to do, regardless of what the cost might be. Because you see,
all right, I can barely, I can barely take it anymore because I'm starting to realize that every friggin' guru is a fucking psychopath. They're all psychopaths. Whether it's Guru Hari or friggin' Hridayananda or Bhakti Vikash or Indra Yumna or Lokanath, Radhanath, it doesn't matter. They all act the same. And Raphael's saying this guy is on the nose. Everything he's saying is spot on. This is fucking scary. You guys got it. If you're in there, if you're in this cult, man, you just walk away.
Just walk away. There has been too much violence, too much pain. Just walk away, and there will be an end to the horror. Just walk away.
Yeah, I know. I saw gurus throwing tantrums in Mayapur, and it was hilarious. Watching a grown-ass man behaving like a 4-year-old, not getting their toys or food the right way or perfect in their eyes. I know. I'm going to tell you, Yashodananda I never saw Yashodananda throw a tantrum. I'm gonna tell you right now, I never saw him throw a tantrum. But he wasn't a guru like that. He wasn't even pretending to be anything like that. But I could just tell. I was around Tamal Krishna, and he was like that. He was exactly like that. Like if the chapati came like 3 seconds too late, it was like, ah! I absolutely saw that in him, and I saw a little bit of it. They're so humble. They jump to self-promotion to higher than God. Yay, boom. I know, they're just, it's so crazy. It is so crazy.
I deserve good things. I am entitled to my share of happiness. I refuse to beat myself up. I am an attractive person. I am fun to be with.
I believe
I'm going
so.
to do a terrific show today, and I'm going to help people because I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.
Every one of these gurus they're psychopaths. These reactions of anger and nastiness begin questioning their holiness. Suddenly I realize that they're not in control of their senses. It's just exactly. It's surprising how they get away with this stuff. It's surprising how they get away with this stuff. Once you leave, you go, why? Like, we sit there, we go, why are these people putting up with this Guru Hari? Can't they see that he's a dreamer? Can't they see that he's mistreating this Radhe? Can't they see? No, they can't. They can't see. They just can't see it. Describes all the Swamis and Gurus I've ever seen. Absolutely. Every single one of them. If all you got to do is watch that Memories of Prabhupada, and every single person on there is going to be sitting there like, yeah, I remember Prabhupada. And it's going to be friggin' narcissism and psychopath and sociopath. The whole thing. Psycho ecstasy of Baba. Yeah, it's crazy. It's insanity. It's absolute insanity, man. I mean, we're getting there now. I mean, we're on a roll with this stuff, you know. Rohit Achat. How is this guy able to raise money for their temples if all the devotees are leaving the ashrams? Oh, and that's all they do is scam. It's called scamming. They scam money. It's called scam. They scam with books. They scam with food. They scam with people. They human traffic. They marry. Whatever they can do. to scam. All you have to do is get this dream, is get the same dream. Yeah, it was. Yep, Indra Yumna learned from Bhagavan. Yeah, Mike correct. Mike's correct. I've had few times opportunity to witness late Tamal interactions among servants and secretaries we called Tamal's madness. Yeah, you know, it's that's why when someone wants to come on, you know, somebody wants to critique and comment, critique and comment all you want, but at least be honest. Don't. And if I misremember something, or I say something and it's not right, I go, well, Surah said this, and it wasn't Surah, it was some other guy, or it wasn't Svavas, it was his brother or something. You know, I get it. I make mistakes, but I don't lie about anything. There's nothing to lie about. There's enough of this shit to go around that nobody needs to make up anything. That's my whole thing with these, where they're like, oh, how can you believe that girl when she says this or that? Well, why not? There's enough. If it's not her, it's someone else. If it's not her, it's someone else that's going to say the same thing. You know. Prabhupada coming back from Yamaloka in a dream is all that's required. So fucking stupid.
Duff Man's pension has been mismanaged.
I'm Duff Man. Okay, so I think I got. So there was this one. Okay, here we go. So you were asking, does a narcissist know what they're doing is wrong? And so let's see what Dr. Ramani says. I think she's going to say, no, they don't know. They don't know. I think that's what she's going to say. We'll find out. Here we go.
So a question I often get is people say, do they know that their behavior is not acceptable? Well, let's take that question on. Welcome back. And let everyone know in all of the videos, healing program I'm doing starting in January every month. I'm going to give you more details soon, but for now, if you're interested, there's a link in the video description below where you can sign up and get more information on how to register. It doesn't obligate you to anything. It's just going to get you information down the line. In a few weeks, the link below will actually be used to sign up for the program. But let's go to that question. How do we know? This question has come up so many times. Do they know that what they're doing is not okay? And I know that this question often arises for people out of the trauma bonded and rationalizing that people get lost in when they are in narcissistic relationships. Maybe if the narcissist doesn't know, then it's not so bad. Maybe they don't mean to be mean. Now, definitely drop a comment if you've ever found yourself trying to make that rationalization. So let me tell you how you know that they know that their behavior, in fact, is not acceptable. In essence, they know what they're doing is not okay. And I sure as hell hope that this helps you break a little bit through the trauma bond. So let's start by talking about the mask of narcissism. It goes on and off, right? It allows them to shapeshift and get validation and be charming and charismatic when they need to be. When that mask comes off, then all bets are off, right? And the charismatic person disappears, and in their place is a raging, invalidating, manipulative, and very unkind person. So let's set a scenario. You are at a party. Maybe the party is for the narcissist. Maybe it's for their workplace. Maybe their friends or family are there. They're great. They're charismatic. They're charming. They're gracious. They're patient, friendly, generous. People look at you and say, wow, you're so lucky to have this person in your life. Then the event or the get-together winds down, and it's time to get into the car. You may think that the good mood will persist. Maybe a few minutes into the drive, they start criticizing you. They'll say things like, well, why didn't you talk to my mother longer? Or, You didn't have my back when that guy was talking to me. Or, next time, don't make a joke. You sound like an idiot. Or they say something like, you know, you weren't really that nice to my boss. That would have helped. Don't you want me to get that promotion? And you may do a double or even a triple take. You might have thought, well, they were so warm and lovely, and I thought the evening went well. The narcissistic person even gave you a compliment in front of the other people. You may have even thought, oh, I look forward to debriefing and talking about the event in the car on the way home. Their conduct may have left you so confused in that car ride home that you may make the mistake of defending or explaining or engaging. Well, you know that that's going to dig the hole deeper. And then you then think maybe you were wrong. Maybe I didn't talk to their mother long enough, or maybe I didn't have their back when that guy was talking to them, or maybe I did make an inappropriate joke, or maybe I wasn't nice to the boss, even though none of that was true. You were perfectly fine at all of that. This cycle with a narcissist is going to repeat and repeat. Some days good, some days bad, but more pointedly, they may actually look good in public, or you may observe them on the phone or on a Zoom call with colleagues, and they are nice and seemingly empathic and charming, and then the Zoom call gets turned off, and boom, they yell at you. Right there is all the evidence you need that, yes, they do know what they are doing. If they can turn it on and off like that, then it is intentional and it is conscious.
So you can tell by the behavior that what he does with Radhe, the fact that he is berating her and humiliating her, and then deletes the video, or hides the video, or talks shit about her, or talks shit about anybody, and then hides the video, deletes it, or makes his videos go private so that so the public can't see him, so that people can't critique him. He knows his behavior is wrong. He knows he's doing something that he doesn't want other people to know or to see. So they do know. They do know. If they can act one way, if Radhanath can get up there and laugh about the women that are making the garlands, and then all of a sudden go, oh, I shouldn't be laughing, and then get all serious and, oh, garlands. And then he knows. He knows his behavior is wrong. These guys, they know. That doesn't mean they care. They definitely don't care. They definitely don't care. But they know that their behavior is wrong. They know that their behavior is wrong. Everyone kiss my toes. Yeah, you should ask your guru. Ask the guru at the temple if you should have if people should be kissing your toes. See what he says. That'd be an interesting one. Hey, listen. Let's do one quick video from the where is it? From the Krishna zone.
There is a fifth dimension, beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge. This is the dimension of imagination, of imagination, of imagination, of imagination.
All right, little dimension of imagination. Let's take a look at this. Let's see what this is. It's a big high being better than God. Yeah, absolutely, man. I can't even imagine. You know, that's quite a promotion. We're promoting you to better than God. Oh, really? You shouldn't have. Me? Little old me. Wow. Better than God, huh? Okay. Is there a pay raise? Do I get a little bit more money for that? That sounds pretty good to me. Better than God. Okay, this is it says Saraswati's first child born in the Krishna consciousness movement. Let's take, it's just, it's there's nothing they don't like better than their children. They just love their children. Okay, here we go. This is what it says.
Early on, in 67, maybe even early 68, I had proposed to Prabhupada that I would go to London and meet the Beatles. This is what I wanted to do. And I didn't realize I had thought about it at all early on. I thought it was an idea that we all came up with later, but apparently that idea grew in Prabhupada's mind, because then he sent a letter to Mukunda later in the spring of 68 saying, what do you think of Shamsundar's idea to go to London and meet the Beatles? It was never to start a temple, it was to meet the Beatles. But somehow or other the idea grew, and the jail episode that I was telling you about earlier, the government actually, one day, even though we were stone broke, I actually got a check in the mail one day for a couple $1,000s, which was evidence being returned from that trial that I'd had in my pocket at the time of arrest. Suddenly we had all this money, and I asked Prabhupada, I got together with Mukunda and Gurdas.
All right, so, it's another one of these guys is telling a story about Prabhupada's story. I guess that's Shama Sundar. I don't recognize him because I don't know the guy. But I guess he went to London to meet the Beatles. I guess he's the guy in the movie, in the Get Back movie. I don't know. I guess that could be him. I don't think it doesn't really look like him. I don't know. What he looked like when he was shaved up as a youngster. Maybe that's him. But there he is. Talking about they're going to go meet the Beatles, scam the Beatles. Let's go scam the Beatles. Talking about his glory days. But what I don't like about this is the rocking back and forth. The rocking back and forth is...
Jamuna and the others, we made a kind of a plan, a proposition to Prabhupada that we all go to London. So he had given his sanction that we could go. We would use this money for all of us to go. But Malati was pregnant. We had to wait until she gave birth to Saraswati, and then a few months later till she could travel. So it was pretty well set for August.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that rocking back and forth is. He's definitely uncomfortable. For me, it's an uncomfortable. It's a soothing. He's trying to soothe himself with the rocking, like a self-soothing, calming. I don't know. I guess it's hard for him to he's the one that did the Ruby. He's the one that did the Ruby thing. Yeah, I know about that. I know about the rubies. Yeah, the Beatles scammer. Yeah, it's so stupid. Evidently he's got some issues, because the rocking to me is telling me that he's got some issues. People actually believe in the stories of Krishna and all the scientific claims that religious leaders make. It's one thing to take the moral ad, another to seriously believe in the mumbo jumbo. There's no moral, and there's no morals in the Krishna stories, okay? There's no morals. There's no moral to the story when Krishna is stealing the clothes of the gopis and then makes them get out of the water naked and cover up their pubic area with their hand, and there's no moral to that. That's child abuse, that's sexual abuse, that's sexual harassment, that's a bunch of stuff. There's no moral to that story. Okay, when Krishna steals the butter and feeds it to the monkeys, and Mother Yashoda is chasing him with a stick and ties him to the mortar or whatever the frick, there's no moral. There's no moral to teach anybody. There's no thing about, don't jump to conclusions, or don't judge a book by its cover, or not everything that's shiny is gold. Not all that glitters is gold. Those stories have a moral. That's a moral. There's no moral to these stupid stories. Okay, there's no moral to them. Like, what's the moral to the story about the guy having sex with a deer and then being born as a deer? I don't need the threat of being born as a deer to know not to sleep with a deer. Okay, I don't need that moral. That's not a moral. It's not a story. It's just so stupid. Like giggity, let's have sex. That's sheer molestation. Yeah, these guys, that's what I'm saying. If you were to analyze their body language when they're talking this bullshit, you're gonna see that they don't believe it. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to say, man. It's. I don't know, man. Should we do another one? Let me see. I think we got time for one more. I think we got time for one more. Let me see. I don't want to watch. I don't know. Let's see. I don't know, man. I'm going to show my shoulder and belly to tap. I think that's a good idea. I think you should do that. Absolutely. I think that's a good idea. Let me see. What is this? Hold on. Let me see what we got. Oh, speak of, there you go.
Appreciating the service of Jamuna Devi. Prabhupada glorified Jamuna Devi unlimitedly for her qualities and her devotion. He once wrote her a letter that she was on the level of Bhava Bhakti. In a letter he wrote this, very high position. And but one day he said to me, if she weren't a woman, I would make her a GBC. If she weren't a woman, I would make her a GBC.
Well, there you go. That's how much. That's how much they value their women in the Hare Krishnas. Wait, what is this? What is ISKCON's position on lab-grown meat? I'm not in ISKCON. I don't know what their position is on lab-grown meat. I would imagine that lab-grown meat should be perfectly. What is it growing on? Is it growing on a? Is it growing on a bone? What is it growing on? Is it growing on a tree, on a bush, on a? What is it growing on? Is it growing on a? Is it like a steak? Like a steak that's just hanging off the branch, like bloom? Is it bloom like a flower, but it's like a pork chop? I don't know. What is fondling, cuddling, and eloping with a deer. Yeah, this is. Yeah, these people should have been stopped in the 70s to prevent them from ruining more people's lives. I know it's in a petri dish, but what is it? What's growing? What's growing though? Like, what is it? Just like a steak is grow? It just grows like hamburger, like like a Big Mac just grows like a Big Mac. It just grows. I don't know. I mean, I know they're doing it. Lab-grown meat is unhealthy. I like it. Well, if you're growing stuff, why not just grow vegetables? I don't know. I mean, you can already grow vegetables, and that's perfectly fine. I don't know why you got to grow meat. when you like, if you want some meat, you can just get an animal. I mean, I guess as simple as that. I think if you want some meat, you can there's a cow or a chicken. I mean, if you want some meat, there's plenty of chickens. I don't know why you got to grow it, but I understand you don't want to kill chicken. Okay, you want to be nice. You want to grow it. You want to grow the chicken in a petri dish. So I don't know. It's just. Yeah, but they're not against meat. They're against killing. They're not against the meat. They're against the killing. Prabhupada says, we're not against the meat. We're against the killing. So there you go. Figure that one out. Well, they're against killing. They're not against the meat. They're against the killing. All right, everybody. Listen, I've had a great time. Let me see. Let me go through some sounds here. What do we got? We got
nobody fucks with the Jesus.
Nobody fucks with the Jesus. And
if you see somebody who's crazy and you don't realize they're crazy, then you're fucking crazy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And watch out for
Let's have sex.
Yeah, watch out for that. And just sometimes
I can't take anymore.
I can't take anymore.
I've had it with you.
I've had it.
He believes in nothing. He believes in nothing, Lebowski. Nothing.
We believe in nothing, Lebowski. Are we clear?
Are we clear?
We're clear.
Are we clear?
And remember, you can just walk away. Radhe, we're pulling for you, Radhe. We want you to just walk away.
Just walk away. There has been too much violence, too much pain. Just walk away, and there will be an end to the horror. Just walk away.
Yes, you're crazy, Guru Ma. Be careful. Just be careful. We're gonna, when you stop coming in here, we're gonna wonder about you. So just be careful. Please be careful, Guru Ma. And hey, Eliana, thank you. Thank everybody. It's been so much fun. Wayne Boyd, let's pull for Wayne Boyd. Everybody go subscribe to his Substack, and subscribe to mine too while you're at it. And it's okay to eat meat as long as it just dies naturally. Yeah, that's what I thought. Who wants that though? Ghana, thank you, Mike. Hey, thank you, man. Thanks everybody for joining in. Please like, share, and subscribe. Everybody, just walk away.
Just walk away.
Just walk
too
away.
Much violence, too much pain. Just walk away.
No more Willy Wonka. You want Willy Wonka?
Just walk away.
You want some little Willy? Let's do some of this. There's a little Willy. Maybe one day you'll walk away. Yeah, I hope so. Don't waste too much time in there. I'm telling you. Hey, yeah, Rafael, thanks. Everybody, Jolene, thank you. So much fun. It's so much fun. I'm telling you, this is the best 2.5 hours of the day. Guru Ma, yeah, we're praying for you, Guru Ma. Just be careful in there. Just be careful, I'm telling you. And everybody, please have a great day, great night, great morning, great afternoon, great evening. If you're hungry, have a great brunch. Please have some great luck. Please stay out of a cult. And everybody, including Look Up, Guru Ma. This is me back when I was also a Hare Krishna. Here we go. Thanks, everybody.